Welcome to the Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. In this show, Rosemary creates a safe place to nurture your inner light, ask questions, develop new insights, and find your soul's purpose. So please welcome the host of Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary DeTrolio.
Good morning and welcome to the Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary on Bold Brave TV. We're streaming live on many platforms. Join me every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Develop new insights and learn your soul's purpose. Join me for interesting conversation with wonderful and gifted guests. You'll find replays on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many other streaming platforms. Today, we're talking about removing blocks, and I have a wonderful guest named Camille Ganir, she's a very informed, enlightened channel for the divine realm as well. And I'd love to introduce you to her, and let's have a chat. Hi, Camille.
Hi, Rosemary.
This is such a pleasure to see you today. I love what you do, and I was so excited when I was on your podcast that I wanted you to be on mine so I could learn more about you.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of this. I don't think I've done live like this before.
I know, right? You're on the hot seat now, right, Camille? Yeah, it was so cool when I first spoke to you because I know that we both channel the divine realm. And it was interesting to me to learn more about what you do because I know that you grew up in Hawaii. Is that true?
Yes.
So tell me about like growing up in that environment. Did you have these gifts that you have now? Did you like dabble in it? Tell me about that because I was always interested in that.
So actually, no. When I was doing energy work, I was remembering that when I was very small, I did have those abilities, but something happened where my abilities, which is now here, I
Hmm.
it it caused me to forget. But
Okay.
living in Hawaii, everything it's a melting pot of Asian culture. So that's my interpretation, right? So I did not grow up with only one type of religion, and
Hmm.
my parents didn't force us to go to church, or my dad was Catholic. Um,
Okay.
but growing up in Hawaii, there's the actual Hawaiian
Yeah.
culture that has their own type of uh, I don't want to say religion because it's not.
It's the earth
Um,
connection, right? More of an earth
yeah,
connection.
it's similar to Native Americans, but they do have their version of shaman, which is Kahuna, and
Kahuna.
and they do have their worship to the different gods of the different
Mhm.
elements. So
The element.
understanding that and all the different religions, there is this superstition about not doing this or doing this, and really
Uh,
being full of the land, of the plants, the trees, the water, just being respectful of everything and knowing that it does talk to you. Like all
hmm.
the elements talk to you.
Yeah.
So if you're actually Hawaiian, it goes very much deeper than that. I have
Yeah.
friends that are of Hawaiian ancestry, and only now that I'm getting into spiritual work that I'm going deeper and diving and asking those questions because it's
Hmm.
interesting to me now.
Yeah.
As a kid, not
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I went to Hawaii years ago, and I know the area is just so infused with this energy, you know. And one of the things I remember picking up a rock, and they say, "Oh, you can't take a rock; it's bad luck." And I like blessed the rock and put it back down. I'm like, I'm not going to chance this because there's energy and everything, and I don't want to bring home any bad luck. But it was funny because some people didn't, but a lot of people are just like throwing the things that they collected like back on the earth and saying sorry, sorry. So yeah,
Well, I mean,
it was
I,
funny.
I love that you mentioned that because growing up, I was watching. They had that one Brady Bunch. Uh, episode where the Brady Bunch went to Hawaii. They took home the lava rock and things were happening. But yes,
Yeah,
it's basically paying respect and don't
yeah,
take anything that you're not allowed to.
that's right.
So yeah.
Oh, that's that's funny. I know when I was teaching kids, we would read legends from different places, and I remember one, and I think it was from Hawaii about the Menehini, which are like the little people. And I don't
Yes.
know if that's a belief. Is that one of the beliefs there? Because it was
Um,
legend, but I don't know.
no, the Menehune are the magical people, similar to like elves and trolls. We don't
Uh,
see them, right?
yeah,
But they were there.
yeah. Yeah, I believe in that. And I know like when I moved in, I'm in New Jersey, so I'm in the United States. And when I moved in my property, the night when I moved in, there was a little person. It sounds so crazy, but it came through my wall when I was sleeping, and kind of like I have this hypnagogic state where I'm half asleep and like in a state, and it tipped its hat to me, and mind to mind it said to me, I'm a land guardian. And I said, well, thank you for being here. Because I garden and I love the earth and I'm always, outside. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's like, I wrote that character in my book, in my kid book, as Boulder
Awesome.
Dash. Yeah. But a little bowler hat just tipped his hat to me and thanked me for being there. So I thought that was super cool.
That's like the fairies.
Yeah, I know, right? And I've been told those are around too. Like I've had people come in and say, there's fairies in your garden or whatever. But I always ask my plants, where do you want to be when I put you in the garden? And and I'll get like an instinct of where they have to be and what other plant they want to be next to. So that's kind of how I
Yes.
garden.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So tell me more. I know that you also channel angels as I do, and you also channel the goddess Pele and dragons, which is super cool because I was showing you before, dragons are so cool. And I've always had this thing with like I think they're so cool. So tell me about that. What did you learn from your connection with them?
So my main connection is to Archangel Michael.
Mhm.
And when I channel Pele, it's the energy of Pele. And it's she comes around when there's a female that needs to embrace the empowerment that they have. And
Like the
so
inner
what
fire. Yeah.
yes, yes. And so there was a client that I was working with, and Pele came. Pele's a goddess, right? She's a
Yes.
goddess, the Hawaiian goddess of the volcanoes. Actually, she's right this way. That's a painting of her,
Yes.
and actually came into human form for this client I was working with. I was like, that's amazing because usually she comes in as herself as a volcano to help just remove the blocks that you're having. But this particular client needed to really embrace the feminine power in herself, not just feminine, but the
Mm,
feminine power that she has because she was still um, on the negative side of feminine. So she came in and really embraced her. I'm like, that's an honor to actually see Pele in human form. And I had her my client describe what she looked like. And she described her, yeah, she was this beautiful woman with the hair looked like fire. I was like,
I
whoa,
was
that looks,
that's red hair. I just saw red hair. Is that
yeah.
yeah?
And
What a
most
cool.
people were like, well, no, Hawaiians have dark black hair. But in form, the red was signifying that this is her energy of fire to
Fire.
help her
Yeah,
embrace the feminine. I
I
don't want
love
any Hawaiians to get, offended. It's like it's just the energy of
the
Pele. It's
energy.
not her exactly.
Her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Um,
beautiful.
and recently, last year, I think it was in September, because the year of the dragon started in February, or yeah, February. I started channeling dragons more frequently and introducing clients to their dragons. So I thought that was
I love
interesting
it.
because it's their
I,
year.
I love it. You know what's so cool? So I have a dragon also in my middle grade fiction, and I think the energy of dragons is really neat looking. And I remember a couple of years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I see things. So I turned over, and there was a golden dragon over my husband. And it was like right over his head. And I'm looking at it, and this thing just stayed there for a couple minutes, and then it just dissipated. And I'm like, whoa. And that was super cool. And I don't know at the time what it meant, but I just believe that maybe it was either from a past life he had or from an energy in him that they were trying to fire up. But I thought that was really interesting to actually see it, there in my half awake state.
Did
Yeah.
you, does your husband talk the woo? Because he could have asked it.
No, no, I'm the woo woo. He,
Yeah.
he, he, he's very spiritual, and he has come a long way since I first met him when he wouldn't talk about anything like this. But I did tell him after. I said I saw this cool golden dragon, and he thinks dragons are pretty neat too. Like he has a shirt with a dragon on it and stuff. So I know that he thinks it's pretty cool. But I don't know if, from your point of view, do the dragons have different colors that mean different things?
So I actually do. I only see what the angels tell me. So whenever I introduce clients to their dragons, I say, whatever it is that you can see, what color is a dragon, what's their name, they're going to speak to you.
Yeah.
So each client tells me what their dragon looks like. Like one of my friends, she says that her dragon has a gold underbelly,
Oh,
and but the top side is like green and purple.
that's
Another client that I had was a gold dragon, just
mm-hmm.
all gold. I was like, wow, all gold.
Yeah, yes, that's a classy one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every person has a different dragon, and some people I get that they have two or three,
Hmm.
and they tell me like who they are to them. Most of them are really there to just guide them because they're their protectors. They're like their I want to say like Amakua, which in Hawaiian is like it's their guardian. Oh no,
Yes.
Amakua is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Um, it's not their guardian, but they're just there. They're
Guide, like a
because
guide, like a spirit
yes,
in the spirit guide form. I've been told the same thing. Couple weird things with the dragons. So first thing, I've got young grandsons, and they love dragons. So I would say, "What color is your dragon?" So they would tell me the colors of their dragon and stories about them. And the weird thing, I was on one of the islands years ago with my husband, and I had said a prayer because my angels always guide me. I said, "Guide me to a really good book." So I go to the shelf and I pick one out, and it was Dolores Cannon and all her work on dragon energy. And it was like, oh my, it was all the things that I was getting chills. You know when you get chills when you get that quickening? This was probably about 20 years ago when I was starting with the Reiki and the angel work. And I found that particular book. I thought it was really a neat coincidence. And now all the information about dragons again is coming back around. So I thought that
yes.
was that was cool. Is there like a main message from the dragons that you've brought forth through for your own benefit or for the benefit of your clients?
I think the main message for the clients is that they're not the spooky or dangerous things that Hollywood makes them out to be.
Mm. Right.
Right? Don't
Different
be
cultural
afraid.
beliefs. Right.
There is a book that I was listening to from, I think her name is Maureen Walker. She's a local spiritual person here in Seattle. And
Hmm.
in her book, she actually talks about dragon energy and how she uses dragon energy to help her through tough times. And
Love that.
so that's how I was really introduced to dragon energy.
I
Um,
love
but as they started to come into channeling, I was like, there's a dragon there, and it's your dragon.
that. But that's amazing because I found too is like when you are open, like when I'm working with the angel realm, many times I will get the same thing. I'll have someone like relax and if they're stressed, they leave the room, and then I have them like jump on the back of a winged creature, and many of them are on dragons. Um,
Yes.
oh, oh, wait a minute. Oh, what the heck? I turned off my phone, and now let me get you back. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
heaven
here.
sake. Yeah, my phone did something strange here, and it shouldn't have. Oh boy, are you
Oh,
still
we're still
there?
here. Yep, still here.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I
You
can't
just
see
probably don't
myself.
see
Let
me.
me just back on. Here we go. I turned off everything so that wouldn't happen, and of course, it happens. All right, I'm there. I don't see you. I'm so
We're
sorry.
here.
Okay, there
We're
we
here.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, darn that phone, right? Yeah. So a lot of people will see dragons and things, coming in, and other things too, like the dragon breath. Doing a dragon breath for calming yourself. Well, it looks like
Oh,
we're going to come up
cool.
on a sponsor break, Camille. So as soon as the sponsor break is done, and that's coming up on Bold Brave TV Lightwalker's Path, I want to come back and we're going to talk about dragons more and dragon breath and other things. So please stay with us. Don't go away if you're listening to us right now. And there is a live call in number, by the way. So if anyone's brave and want to call in and ask a question, please do so. All right, we'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. This is Rosemary. You're on Bold Brave TV listening to the Lightwalker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary. And my guest today is Camille Ganir, and she's a wonderful channel for angels and Pele and the galactic beings and dragons. And she is my guest today. And we were talking about the power of dragons and dragon breath before. And that doesn't mean bad breath. It just means how to use the energy of the dragon. So, let's go back to that conversation for a few minutes. So, what else can you tell me about like the power of the dragon energy and how to bring it into yourself?
Good question. To be honest, it really is. It's like anything else, right? When you tune into spirit, however it is that you tune in, you need to be able to receive and not be able to be afraid. I think that's
That's
the
right.
biggest thing. And know that there are light beings, and whenever I channel, I only channel in beings of pure love. I don't
Me
channel anything else.
too. Me too. I get it.
So if you're aware of these beings, then and you call them in, then they'll be there, but you just have to know that they're there first. Because
Permission.
most people, right? I mean, exactly. Permit yourself
Hmm.
to let yourself see or believe and sense.
Hmm.
Because most people only understand if you're not in the spiritual realm, that they're things that are made up. Like my boyfriend, I
Hmm.
love him to death. I love him absolutely, but he doesn't believe in life after death. but
Okay.
he doesn't believe in whatever it is that happens.
Hmm.
But he's a gamer, and gamers love all of these elementals and all the beings that we actually channel. And I just think it's so funny. I was actually talking to this with my friend last night, that a lot of gamers, they believe in is in their game only.
Right. All these things. Yes. Yes.
Trolls, I mean, all the characters that I see, I'm like, I channel all of those.
That's the thing. I mean, if it's an archetype and it came through your soul through this and that and through time of history, it had to come from somewhere. So I always think that some of these things do exist, maybe possibly only in the realm of the unseen. And for those of us that are tapped in, you begin to believe when you have these experiences. You're like, oh, well, I didn't believe that before, but I just saw it, it's been verified for me through my experience. And I think that's the thing. It's like it's hard for some people to verify it unless they've had a one-to-one experience with it. So that's what I would
Exactly.
say. Sometimes it takes a trauma or a life lesson or something that happens that all of a sudden you're like, well, even if I don't believe, I'm going to say prayer right now. Like that seventh inning prayer, whatever, ninth inning prayer. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Okay, so we were talking also about beliefs that people have because you were saying that your boyfriend doesn't believe. So let's talk about beliefs and how they can assist with understanding or with your journey.
Well, I think I want to start first with what we're programmed to believe and
Hmm.
how I help people to reprogram their beliefs. And there's a
Okay.
lot of us healers and just people in the light worker field that want to help people release their beliefs, their blocks of what they have been programmed to believe about themselves or just about society. I mean, my beliefs when I was growing up was that, I mean, most people in America, I was supposed to go to school, get a good job,
Hmm.
and then live happily ever after in this perfect corporate world. Well,
Hmm. That didn't work, right?
that was a belief that was held by whomever and was able to get through almost every person in the world, right? It's not just the
Hmm.
states, it's the entire world.
Everywhere.
And then you go through the steps and you get out of college and you're like, this is not really what I thought it was going to be. Let me try this, let me try that. And some people, their belief in what they were supposed to be was still holding them true to what their parents had them believe they're supposed to be. I went in a completely different way.
Hmm.
um, was my path, which may sound similar to anyone else who's watching, listening. Um, I was shown from when I was younger, I was a little more this in art and a little more that in math. Not as good as some of my other friends who are just extremely
Hmm.
fantastic in both of those realms separately, but together one of my teachers was like, "Oh, you would be a really good architect." And at like 8 or 9, I was like, "What the heck is an architect?"
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Wow.
and it was all the way through college that I went to school and I trained to be in the architecture realm, and I was in that field for a little over a decade after college. But
Hmm.
it was through some interesting happenings of economic downturn that I finally said, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too.
Yeah.
Why did they always pick me?
Oh, wow.
And it really was until, and that programming really stayed with me that I need to absolutely stay in this realm. Probably up to a few years ago, where I was still entertaining um, headhunters to try to get me back into the field of construction. And I was like, but I decided a while ago that I didn't want to go back, but it was still like the universe was still testing me. Do you still want to go back or do you want to go on this spiritual path?
Yeah,
So
I get it. Yeah.
so for those of you who kind of resonate with that, that you were given this idea that you're supposed to be on this path, but something else is pulling you, go toward that pull. Go toward the, this does not feel right in my body, and how, or even that you don't like it. Because I do remember telling my parents, I don't like this. It's I was like, it's not for me. But
Mhm.
I was, under the influence of my parents, and like, well, you have to.
Yes.
And I was a good girl. Again, the programming, right? Like, you have
Yeah.
to be, I am your parent.
Yes, and I think in different cultures, I don't. You said your background is Asian.
Yeah.
As I was a school teacher for many many years. Excuse me. One of the things I noticed is certain cultures would raise their children to be. You have to do this because this is the expected path, and other
Yeah.
people may have different beliefs for their kids. But I know there were like these children I had. They'd go to school on Saturday all day, and the parents would really want them to succeed, so they were pushed really really hard, and then they weren't allowed to like have downtime to play and experience because that wasn't serious enough. And I felt
Hmm.
bad because some of these kids were amazing, but they weren't given like that ability to say yes, just go play, even though it has no purpose in my mind, and I know it affected them.
It,
So
it does. I mean, I have a few Asian friends that one is a healer, and she instead of taking over her parents' business, she ended up going into business school. But even then, she was like,
yeah.
that just didn't feel right. It didn't
Yeah.
feel right. And so she's on her path as a healer, and now it really, really just feels right for her. And she's like, I love this. I love helping people. I love that I can, do all these. She's a fantastic channel too.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I have another friend that went through with me with in architecture, and she's like, yeah, I don't like this either. And she's this director of marketing now. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a more creative field at least, It's
Yes.
more creative. The other thing too is that I love what you said about the body, because when I train my healers too, I say you got to tap into that wisdom of like, is it feels right for me or not right for me? And then you have to listen to it. And I think that's where the fear comes in. A lot of people, because of those beliefs, like they're afraid to make that leap because it's kind of scary. You're stepping your toe into something that is not like, it doesn't have a direct line. It kind of goes like this, and you're led, and like unless you're tapped into that intuition, it's kind of like you got to take that leap of faith to get there, and
Yeah.
that's what I think is pretty neat. So when did you finally say this is what I want to do, like, and you took that leap? What did you have, an impetus or something that like really drove you to do that?
So my impetus is actually really interesting. So I was always led by my one friend in college, who kind of introduced me to spiritual things like crystals and tarot. He actually got me into tarot. So I love reading tarot. I don't do it as
Mm-hmm.
part of a client session, but I
Mm-hmm.
did get a swear tarot card deck, and I love kind of pulling that out for some of my friends who have a hard time. And I'm like, I'm pulling out this swear tarot deck, and we just kind of laugh through all of the their trauma that they're going through. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that tarot is something that kind of held me there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful to my friend that got me introduced me to this. But it
Mm-hmm.
was after I had broken up with a boyfriend. My friend at that time, she was looking for some psychic to help us through how we break up or how do we get back together, whatever it was. And I started, and we found a person, and she became my first energy teacher. She
Mm-hmm.
introduced me to Reiki, and I was like, wow, what is this? And it was like, this is so cool.
Really is. I get it because I learned back in 96, and I've never turned back. I love the energy of it, and it opens up all these other psychic pathways that you already have. It just kind of
Yeah.
clears everything out when you're attuned. So that's why I love it. So you do Reiki as well for your clients, or is it just a tool instead that you have for you?
I can't say that I only do Reiki because um it's just whatever is needed with the client. And mainly doing channeling, right? And
Mm,
when I'm channeling, I truly am just the channel. I don't
conduit.
do any of it. Yep, I'm the
Yeah.
conduit. The angels and the other light beings really do what they need to do. I just vocalize what I'm being shown. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like a guided meditation, but it's not a meditation at all. It's
Yes,
a
you're getting flow. Yes.
it's not a
Yeah.
meditation at all. So they show me what, so I vocalize what the client needs to do in order to help release the block. And oftentimes, the angels will say, yeah, this is something that is of your present time, but
Mhm.
also it goes deeper. It goes either ancestral, right?
Mhm.
Or it goes past life, or all all of the above.
All right, I want you to hold that thought because we have a sponsor break coming up on Bold Brave TV. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the ancestral blocks and what we were just discussing now. So don't go away if you're listening. We'll still be here on the Walkers Path Bold Brave TV. Okay, be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. This is the Light Walker's Path, Grow Your Spirit with Rosemary on Bold Brave TV. And my guest Camille and I were discussing about blocks that we carry forth through past lives or through our ancestral line. So, Camille, what would you say, like some of these blocks that we carry, how do you release them and what can you tell me about the blocks from our past?
Ooh, that's a great question. So, when I'm working with clients, I actually don't release them. I don't actually see what it is. It's again, it's the angels, it's the light beings that are called forth to help the client. And each in my channelings, each client is very different in which light being comes forth because it's how deep is it? When I was first understanding what it is that they were doing, the angels were showing me how big this block is. And so they would show me in like our our version. It's like one when it started, it was a very big block and it was a money block. And it was like, oh, it's as big as a boulder. I was like, whoa, that's really big. And when it went deeper, I remember the next person that it went deeper. They're like, oh, it's a few miles high and it's like
Oh,
three city blocks big and it's made out of concrete or steel. So that's when the dragons would come in or Pele would come in and really just use their power to just dissolve, right?
mm-hmm.
Dissolve the block to help dissolve the blocks. And so we have a chat in the beginning to understand what the focus is, because I used to joke around. It's like, oh, just heal everything, but it's difficult when you actually have an intention. It's
Yes,
actually it you have a
guides
focus,
it, right?
right? You
Mm-hmm.
have a focus because if you're gonna heal everything, it's like, well, we got to start somewhere. Let's pick something,
Yes,
and we don't know. Which one is the catalyst, right? So
yes,
I was like, just pick the out of three, the top three things that's bothering you now. What's the top thing? And so we
yeah,
work on that one top thing, and it could be the one that can dissolve everything, or the one that can really allow the underbelly of what the root of it is.
I love
So
that.
on my personal journey, when I'm getting help for a chronic illness,
Mm-hmm.
several healers said it's actually not mine; it's my ancestors. But
That's
I'm carrying it to help. I was like, why did they pick me?
right. And why did you pick? Because I think too, like when we come in sometimes in our blueprint, we write off like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Sure, give me some of that. I can handle this. Then you're here like, what the heck did I do? Right? Oh
You know?
goodness. So when you
uh,
work with them, are your clients like when you work with them, are they in a meditative state? Are they like on the massage table? Are they sitting? Do you work remotely? Like how do you like if a client comes to you and says, Camille, I want to break these blocks. What is the process for you and that person?
well, because of the pandemic, I actually work mostly remote.
Okay.
I have done local, and some of the people that I've worked with local, they're like, yeah, the energy is different. It's just more intense. It's not that
Yes.
it's not going to work via
Yes.
remote, because it does. Energy is everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just they feel it more intensely.
Yes, yes. I agree with that because I've done like long distance Reiki and in person, and I prefer in person, like when my hands are on someone. But it works both ways. But I agree that the energy experience is a little different when they're in your space and feeling your energy like right there next to them. So that's good. How long does a session usually take for you if you're doing a
Um,
block session?
I'm very respectful of everyone's time, so I keep it to 60 to 90 minutes. So it
That's
goes to 90 minutes only if we want to, only if the client wants to chat a lot longer about the experience,
uh-huh.
because it's especially if it's a bigger block. They always say,
Mm,
"Oh, I feel lighter. I feel this," and I'm like, so I have to talk to them about what kind of things will happen with the
yeah.
block lifted. Um,
Yes.
especially, and this, when you go to an energy healer, it's because, or an energy worker, it's because the current medical or
Mm,
whatever it is that
they're
isn't
missing
working.
some. Mm,
Yes, it's
mm,
just not there.
yeah.
And like currently for me, my nutritionist and my doctor's like, I don't understand what's going on with your body. My nutritionist understands that I'm a light worker, and they're like, could it be from all the light worker work that you're doing that your body is telling you, is giving you clues about certain things? I was like, yeah, probably, because
Mhm.
at night we're pretty active as light workers.
Hmm. I've asked them not to send me on trips when I'm sleeping, though, because they'll send me out and I'm counseling people in my sleep that I don't know. Or in the beginning, when I was learning Reiki, they were sending me to heal people distantly. They would set like astral travel to get there, and then I'd be working on them, and I'd be counseling them, talking to them, come back home. I'm tired. So I said, listen, I can do light work on the weekends. So you can send me out at night. But other than that, I need my rest because you can get very ill if you are not taking care of your body and yourself when you're working with clients. So like salt baths, that's my thing. Got get in Epsom salt bath, clear yourself outside, take your shoes off. You know, you really need to care for your body when you're doing the work that we do with clients. That's one thing
Yes.
that I've learned.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you're probably right because last week I was in my human. I was doing all of all of the things that human we need to do to be, to
Yeah.
do and to work, and I wasn't really doing any spiritual work. So that's probably why I'm like super exhausted. I'm like,
Yes.
why am I so tired? But I
Yes.
also did discover that I did jump timelines. I have solid evidence. I was telling my friend that I have solid evidence that I jumped timelines. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place,
No,
but
it's
going,
okay. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. So what are some of the self-care things that you do when you feel out of sorts? Do you have certain things that you do for yourself?
yes, I just go inward. I really just rest. For me, I'm that person that will just go all the way to the edge.
Oh, I've been that person, and sometimes I still am. So my husband says, "You got to rest, take care of yourself," because we saw his mom get quite ill. She was a healer. She never took care of herself, and she wound up getting quite sick. You know, because she didn't value like her time and her
Mm.
energy. You
So
know.
I do recluse a lot.
Hmm.
I just sit and I my one of my things is I love to garden, and
Uh,
so on the weekends I'll go and spend time in the garden and just get my hands dirty. I love
Me
that.
too. It's very grounding. They've actually done research on people that are smelling the earth. It creates serotonin in the body of dogs and cats. So it's like it works for us too. You know, take your shoes off, and I pull weeds when I'm frustrated. It's great therapy.
It is, and I take off my I after work. I bring a change of clothes so I can get dirty in them. I don't have to worry about dirty clothes on. I bring I sometimes I don't even like right now it's not hot enough in Seattle where I need to bring shoes, so I'll
Mhm.
just walk barefoot.
Yes, yes, nice. Okay, so let me see. I have some other things I was going to ask you. Um, Okay, so as how you experience energy and how you experience spirit, do you see things in your third eye, or is it really just a knowing? It's like a clairsentient knowing, or do you see? Do you feel? What would be like your pathways?
All of the above. Um,
Mhm.
so the only time that I see is when I'm channeling. But
Okay.
if I'm talking to you, if I'm having a conversation with someone just on the street and their guides are telling me what to tell them,
Mm-hmm.
hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I it's not I guess it's in part of the knowing, but I hear it in my inner ear, in my third eye ear, whatever it is, whatever it's
Mm-hmm.
called. And then I always see myself looking off to the left, like they're telling me there's something or someone that's telling me this is what the message needs to be.
Interesting. Yeah. It's I found too, like years ago, and this is something I learned. Sometimes when I'm out in public, I literally have to shut off my third eye. So I
Mm,
actually see like a screen in front of here and here that protects me when I go out in like, let's say, really busy crowds, you know, especially if you're going to like a convention. Because if you don't, I'm reading past life and I don't want to go in people's business. So, like, I don't want to know who they were in the past. Like, it's not my business to know. But all this stuff was coming in. So I had to, like, literally shield it when I went out in public. Do you have anything that you do to kind of protect you boundary wise when you're out in the world? Or do you keep it open? What do you do?
I, I think when I first started getting all that information because I couldn't sleep, um,
Mm
I really set a hard boundary. And it took me a while to understand how to set it.
hmm.
And
Mm
now go to big crowds like that, I don't get that information. It's only with people that are close to me, like friends,
Yes.
that meant that they haven't heard, um, that they need to hear the message again.
Yes, yes. And you find too, like I know sometimes if I'm counseling someone or talking, like the angels would just take my mouth over and they'll give me this really smart thing to say. I'm like, I know I'm not that smart, so I know it's them, you know? But
Yes.
it's so cool. Does that happen to you? They like take your mouth?
Yes, because sometimes I'll even be typing something and this message will come out and I'm like, so just to let you know, that's not me, that's a channeled message. And they're like,
Yes,
oh,
yes,
okay.
absolutely. That happens. Wow. So I want when we come back after this break, I want to touch back on your book and that idea. And we're on Lightwalker's Path. Our sponsor break is coming up. Please don't go away. We have the last segment coming up, and I don't want you to miss it. Okay, so we'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. This is the Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV, and my guest is Camille Ganir. And we were talking about ways that like the angels or the divine beings come in and kind of help us when we're doing what we do. So we were saying that like, you know, Camille and I have this experience. You write an email and all of a sudden something happens and you know it's not you.
Yeah.
So
Like,
well,
that's really smart. That's not me.
yeah, that's not me. They're smarter than me. I know it's not me. That's what I always say. Oh boy. So Camille, how would people find you if they want to connect with you? What's the quickest way to get to you?
Oh, so there's a website that I use. It's called
Hmm.
bookme.com. So it's bookme.name, which is, and then / Camille G. Camille and G. And so
Okay, and your
that,
last name's Ganir, right?
yes.
Ganr Ganir. Okay. Who's your ideal client? Like if you were to say, oh, that's the perfect person that I would love to help. So who are your ideal clients that you would like to work with?
So my ideal client, firstly, is someone who actually wants to work on themselves,
Hmm.
and is not afraid of putting in the work. Because I think that's the one thing they don't. People are like, I want that, but then they start shying away. The fear comes in. It's like, oh, but that's a lot of work.
Right.
If you want to ascend in whatever it is that you want to ascend in or move up or however you want to put it, you actually have to put in the work, right?
Hmm.
And it's really just an improvement for yourself.
Yes.
um and I really work better with people who understand that they have a gift and they understand how to use it. And I can actually help guide you a little better on how to bring in more gifts. One of the
Mhm.
gifts that I was shown is that I can activate more of their gifts, but they have to be ready, right? So that means you have to be ready to do the work, you have to be ready to release the blocks, and you have to do the work to release the blocks. It's not
Absolutely.
that it will automatically happen, it does still take time. And when you are ready, one of my clients ready. And when she released completely. And then one by one, all of her gifts started coming through. I was like, dang, that was fast. But she was
Yeah.
ready.
There
She
is a
was,
readiness. It's absolutely true. And if you're not ready for it, you try to force it. If you're forcing, it's like that fish going uphill, like the salmon in the stream. If you're
yeah,
not quite ready, it's going to be an effort instead of like it's just going to flow. Not that you don't have to practice and be open, but I find the same thing is sometimes somebody wants the healer to like fix them. And we're just guides or conduits for the energy. We can assist, but we can't fix it, take it from you. Like I can loosen karma, but I can't get rid of your karma. You
yeah,
know, it's like when you tune too. It's like people don't understand. It's like I'm loosening this gift, but you've got to now do the work to release whatever comes up, right? And
yes.
that's part of it. And you know, we assist, but we don't fix it. You know, we're not the fix it crew.
I also help clients. I have a client who is she does have abilities, but her end goal is not in the woo. It's still in the 3D world. So I'm currently helping this client ascend to her actual goal. So, and again, by removing the blocks that she has, because she recognizes that it's a spiritual thing, right?
Yes.
She, even though it is a, there's some physicalness to it, she does know that she does need to release on the spiritual side. And she's
Right.
like, I prefer this better than therapy. So,
Yeah. I think that's what, you know, as healers too, we take people from where they are now and we move them forward wherever that is. And some people are just at the beginning. I call them the newbies, you know. They're at the beginning of just seeking and beginning to look at self-help stuff and dipping a toe in. And then you have people that are have these gifts that they've always had and don't know what to do with them. I had
mhm.
a student I taught as a 6-year-old who used to see auras and colors, and I just ran into her. She's probably 36 years old now, but she still has this incredible intuitive ability from childhood. And thank God, you know, she's got one of those parents that they're very open to everything that she does, and they've kind of been supporting her. But could you imagine like being shut down when you're little and you start having these great gifts happen, right? It happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I was that, I'm that aunt that I actually did. I was telling my my friend last night that I was that aunt who, when my nieces were really young, like 5 and 6, I would ask my oldest niece, she could see auras. I was like, what does this aura look like now? And so she would draw.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah. Oh, you just froze, Camille.
Yeah, I can see that, but it's
Yeah,
okay. You
okay.
can still
Keep
hear
going.
me.
Keep talking.
Um, And my younger niece, her younger sister, we would go find fairies. So,
Oh, I
and so
love
it kept
that.
that open. But once they got older and they started, hearing, oh, that doesn't exist, that doesn't exist, we don't have that fun anymore. But when your kids are young, and that's what I tell my friends who are in the spiritual, like, keep that open, like,
Hmm.
talk about what is it that they're seeing. Don't tell them that it's
Just
not.
honor it.
Mhm.
Honor whatever they see and experience. You know, it's funny because I remember leaving my body and flying on the ceiling when I was in diapers. And I remember looking down at myself. And as soon as I had the conscious thought that I couldn't do that, I slammed back into my body. And,
Yep.
you know, it was very weird. But yeah, we have these things that if you're lucky enough to have somebody supporting your understanding, it's amazing. You know, it's going to be an amazing world for the kids that are coming in now with these gifts. So we have about 2 more minutes of the show. Is there any last words that you would like to give the listeners from you? And then I'll wrap up after you're done.
That. What do you want to hear? The angels are just saying, believe we're here. Have faith that everything will turn out. And don't be afraid. The voices that you hear that are pushing you forward, that's us. That's your guides. So
Forgot.
the guides are really pushing you forward, but it's whispered.
Whisper. All right. So I think that's our show for today, and I really appreciate you. So I'm your host, and you've been watching The Lightwalker's Path on Bold Brave TV. Thank you for joining us for this inspirational hour, and thank you so much, Camille. And next week, 10 Eastern again, join us. My guest is Mary Crawford, the joy of being well. We're going to talk about the connection with animals and us. Thank you so much, Camille. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rosemary. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Take care.
This has been The Lightwalker's Path. Grow your spirit with Rosemary. Tune in each week at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network and delve into your soul's purpose through enlightening discussions, wisdom, and inspirational conversations.